Thank you.
Right. Richard Pryor was a 2024 comic in the 60s and 70s when you could not be. And even though there was less censorship, so to some degree he could talk about subject matters that are definitely off limits now, he was so like unbothered by what your opinion about him was. He had a show, it got canceled, and the reason why I got canceled the first show because ABC could not control him. He would constantly break the rules of the FCC. He starts the show off, the Richard Pryor show. His first segment, he's like, I'm Richard Pryor, I'm a comedian, and I'm letting it all hang out. And the camera zooms out, there's a full body shot of him naked. But he's not showing his genitalia. He has on like doll parts. So, like a doll has like no, he doesn't all like, that's what he did for his first thing in the 70s. He was like, I feel like every time Richard spoke, he was trying to get himself canceled. Yeah. Like that's how on edge he was. That's why I give it to him, because without Richard Pryor, the Eddies of the world, the Daves, the Bernies, the Cats, like they don't really kind of have a room, particularly as a Black comedian, to operate, right? He made it acceptable to be us on the big screen, wear our afros, talk in our jargon, and not care about anything or anyone while doing about it. So as an homage, I'll give it to Richard Pryor.
Okay. I like that. I've got him around kind of the same place, but I have Dave Chappelle at my third spot. Just on, this is almost turning into top 10 favorites for me, or than like a top 10. But I think my favorites and top 10 kind of interchanges. But Dave Chappelle is so important for comedy for me, is because he did something in the age of stand-ups, kings of comedy that wasn't really being done. It was kind of brought it to like the sketch comedy kind of phase, and brought it to the TV environment, and he completely killed it. I don't know a single, like, sketch comedy isn't something that really has been done since Mad TV, Color Purple. I'm not Color Purple.
Let me see. Living Color.
Yeah, Living Color. Drawing a blank. But sketch comedy is like one of my favorite forms of comedy, and Dave Chappelle just did it right, between that, his movies, his stand-up. I don't think me and Steven like to get into an argument about this a lot. I don't think his stand-up is the best. There's not a whole lot of memorable stand-up moments from Dave Chappelle. I mean, besides, the purple drink and all that stuff. And he's got some stuff, but he doesn't really kill in the stand-up. And, there is some guys I could see who could kill after him. Yeah. But the way he's kind of evolved into just like a comedy giant, and the way he does comedy now, and just kind of bring current events, social matters, and makes you kind of think. I just think he's so important for comedy, and that's why he's one of my favorites.
I'm not mad. He's actually my number 4, so I'm not mad. I have no rebuttal that Dave is. Now, okay, I admit his stand-up is not that's not a reaction, but his stand-up was like, man, that was funny, but it's also one of those like, that was super clever. Like,
makes you think. Humor, it makes you think.
It makes you think. And I think that has been the biggest hiccup with a lot of Black audience, is that Dave doesn't have the knee-slapping humor, right? Like,
Then you ain't funny.
No, you can be funny without
subjective. It's subjective. Comedy is subjective.
Do I want a comedian or do I want a teacher?
I mean,
comedy's not a lesson?
Yeah.
It could be a lesson, but make it funny. I'm sorry. I'm gonna tell y'all now, just everybody watching, y'all might get mad. I don't care too much. He's not on my list. Dave Chappelle is not on my list at all. He's not funny to me. He's just not funny to me. It's my piece. Hey, I've sat there and watched him multiple times and not even giggled.
Man,
it's not funny. The funniest thing I've ever seen that man do was him on Blue Streak. That was the funniest thing.
Oh man!
So you telling me you've never laughed at the Chappelle show?
Not really.
Okay, I can't argue what you think is not funny. I mean,
Rick James isn't
funny, but if you,
I'm
Rick James.
For his time, it was funny, but like after a while, I was like, it ain't even that funny.
Prince isn't funny.
Pancakes,
right? Pancakes. See, you would have laughed now. That sketch.
No, I'm sitting here like, what? I'm supposed to laugh at pancakes?
Hey, bro,
I don't think,
cold.
Man, the whole sketch. The whole thing.
Okay, what about Nutty Professor 1? Reggie wasn't funny?
No.
If that ain't funny to you, that ain't funny to you. But I mean, shoot, that.
Well, what's funny is when Eddie started laughing, started baking him. That was funny. But my number 3 was Richard. And my number 3 is Richard. It's my number 4 that's gonna get y'all.
Let's go to the number 4. After a quick word from my sponsors, we're gonna start off with Steve because I'm interested in hearing what his number 4 is.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
And we're back. Steve-O, I'm starting off with you. Number 4, because I don't believe you just said what you said. That is comic blasphemy, what you uttered.
Right. Super hot take.
That is a hot take, but that's blasphemy.
It wasn't even a take. It was just my truth.
What is number 4?
My number 4 is, I will say, very underrated. But like I said, if he was to come into any establishment from a barbershop to a stage, there's just not going to be too many people funnier than him. He's done it on multiple stages. He's been in some movies. He's been in some shows. But he's very underrated. But most of the people that really pay attention to comedy and that really knows funny people know who this guy is. He's the big fella. The one, the only, Lavell Crawford.
Oh, gosh.
Why? Like I said, one of the most witty comics I've ever seen, because it's almost like he's been through every situation, and you can't, like you said, I like what you said earlier, you can't put him in a box. He's too quick. He has a comeback for everything, and the comeback he has will have you to your knees laughing. That's how funny he is. He's the only people that when some of the big people walk in, they just do not want to see him. So, and they have said it out their mouth how dangerous Lavell Crawford is. He's one of those real funny people that just not at the top stage. He could be, but of course he don't have the image to be. And maybe that's not what he to me. He's one of those old school comedians that just like to be on the road and likes to go on road and do tours. That's his lane, and that's what he sticks with. But when it comes to funny, you ain't too many people beating them. They're just not.
Lavell Crawford is funny, gut busting, hilarious. Not gonna lie.
That's all we need to say.
If he speaks, you're gonna laugh. If from the Paula Deen, say Paula Deen can sell anything, he is funny. I was joking with my cousin. I said, I mean, he's still big, but when he was super big, he was more funny. But like now, he's just regular big. Yeah,
of course.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like
it's always that way. It's always that way.
I feel like he's still one of his funniest jokes I heard recently was about when they stormed the Capitol.
Yes, that was I listened to that.
That was funny.
That was funny.
So yeah,
I mean, look, Lavell. Here's my push. It's not Lavell's ability to make you laugh. His body of work isn't there
because he just don't have the movies or shows.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
That's not something he didn't really want to do it like that.
And we're saying on stage comic, then yes, Lavell Crawford is that guy.
But that's the first. But I think we got to give more credence to there, because if you're not making it there, you're not going to make it to movies. You're not going to make it to TV. So if you can't do it there, you're not going to be able to make it on the big stage.
That should.
But we've seen him in movies that and he's been funny in it. He just he's never going to be the guy to get a big role because he's just not that versatile that way as an actor.
That's true.
He's not an actor at all.
That's true.
For sure.
He's just a comic. All right, I'm not mad.
He's just he's a pure comic. Yeah.
I'm sure if he was boasted up in a way, he could been, kind of someone bigger in comedy, but that's just not the way, the cookie crumble. But he is funny. He is very funny.
Oh, he's funny.
Stand up is, We're
not going to take it.
Oh, yeah, we're not going to take it. We're not going to take it. Yeah, hey. Oh, yeah. I mean, look. He's funny. Lavell. When he said, open up, cheek. When he said, open up, cheek. Open up, steakhouse. I want a ribeye right now.
Right now.
Oh, he's funny. He was like, Paula Dean can sell. He said, nigga, come here. I said, well, nigga, say
anything he does with his mama is funny. He talk about, now, we've been looking for you to come out these woods for 2 hours now. They didn't get all these cops and these. I don't know who finna pay for this, right. But I know one thing: you got 5 seconds, or you live here. One, there he is. Let's go.
That's too funny. All right, I'm not even mad. All right, Ariel, who you got for number 4?
Number 4, I got Mr. Richard Pryor. What can I say that hasn't already been said? Yep. The man is comedic genius, way ahead of his time. Just, almost in that Eddie Murphy kind of vein, the shows, the movies, the stand-up, he's almost untouchable. And if I was around, back then and I kind of grew up more with Richard Pryor, he'd probably be even higher. But since, I didn't grow up with it, he's a little bit lower on my list, but, he's still, you got to respect Richard Pryor. He definitely did. Where Bill Cosby couldn't kind of go into with all the little dirtiness, that's where Richard Pryor kind of took it, and we also needed that for comedy, especially for Black comics.
That's true.
That's true.
I agree. My number 4 is Dave Chappelle for everything that has been said earlier from Arian. Obviously not Steve-O, since he doesn't think he has any sense of humor at all. But Dave
Chappelle, he ain't funny. He ain't funny to me. I ain't never said the man ain't funny. I say he ain't funny to me.
Okay.
I mean, the first time I met OJ, I mean, that whole, like, I'm sorry. Like,
yeah, like,
he has
the second time.
Right, like, I don't know how Dave's not funny, but I get it. That's your list, all right. But Dave is definitely number 4. This is what's gonna shock you. This person right here, from my number 5, is a legend that gets overlooked, but you can't like Dave and you can't like Richard Pryor and a whole host of other comedians who he has written for without liking this person. This person might not have the body of work from a stand-up perspective, even though he had specials. He had a couple HBO specials, but he's a genius. I'm talking about the man himself, who Ari Spears tries to imitate. Richard. He said, I love Richard Pryor.
Okay.
Paul Mooney. Right, Paul Mooney is the 5th greatest comic of all time. And the reason for this is because, as stated, yes, he is not a Lavell Crawford on stage. I give it to you. He's not a Cat Williams. But he's one of those people that could write for every comic you listed, and it'd be just as funny. His penmanship is his humor. There's shows that he has written for that he doesn't get the credit for, right? From not just the Richard Pryor show. I mean, there's other shows, other Black comedic shows that Richard Pryor has been Paul Mooney's been a writer for, and he wrote Richard's material. So you can't like Richard Pryor and not like Paul Mooney. You can't like Dave Chappelle. I mean, that first season, Negro Damas, as Paul Mooney, that whole, what do you say? He's like Brian Gumble. Wayne look like Malcolm X.
Makes Wayne Brady look like Malcolm X.
Bro, Wayne Brady still pissed about that joke.
What are you trying to say?
Right. He was like, that joke was corny. I'm like, wait, no, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
That joke was
everybody laughed.
Maybe,
Paul Mooney, man, is a genius. And anybody that disagrees with the geniusness, I think is a disrespect to comedy. So I'm going to get Paul at number 5.
Man, I totally mind farted on Paul Mooney. He's definitely one of the legends. I didn't even include him on my list. I got to give my props to him. I put him in my honorable mention to something. But my number 5, I got Cat Williams. He's just stand-up juggernaut for many reasons. The way he can tell, no one can tell a story like his. No one has the persona of Cat Williams. No one does stand up like Cat Williams. If we're going pound for pound, like stand up, if you want to put it in as like a boxing, I find it hard that anyone could beat Cat Williams in stand up. He may not, lead any of his, like most of his bodies of work. He always usually kind of plays a lot of the same thing, but no one has made the type of character he plays, as funny as he has. Cat Williams he's just a legend, and all the craziness he stirs up outside of the world of actually his bodies of work. It's a little crazy too. The Club Shay Shay stuff. I don't know what's true or what's not, but a lot of the stuff I could tell you probably wasn't no lie.
Hey! All I gotta say is for everybody that's on this Club Shay Shay. He just said everything he just said. He'd been say it for years.
He'd been saying it before, yeah.
Oh yeah. Hey, I'm gonna let y'all leave it up to your imagination.
Cat one of them ones though. Yeah. Ain't nobody want no smoke.
Like he said, when I walk in, head goes down.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he did say that. That man said, I'm one of the few that still got a virgin booty hole, bro. I'm sorry, like that right there.
I was like, ooh, this man talking.
Right.
He said that man offered me. I said no. Right. So what do you do?
I know what I said. So
I know what I said, and I said no.
Hey, Cat and me. Hey, it was so funny. Shannon couldn't stop laughing. He was trying not to. He talking about, man, I got this